Hey guys, good evening. Guys, if you're able to see my screen, just type S in the chat box. Great. So guys, today we are going to continue our session. In the last session, I covered the control flow statements. If you have seen, right, in the last session, I covered the control flow statements. This was the topic that I covered in the last session, flow control statements. Complete session I covered, right? Now the next topic will be mostly on methods, variables, like that. So let me open the notes for that particular part. Meanwhile, I also launch Eclipse IDE parallelly. Okay, just wait for this. Hmm. Just give me a second, guys. Let me open the stuff. I'll open the notes for the next topic of Java. That is methods and variable types. Last session, we completed control flow statements. So now, just give me a second. Things are there. I should make a note of all these notes, guys, once. Modifiers, interfaces, methods, variables, classes, objects, constructors. This is the topic. So we completed this part. What is the part that we have completed? Just let me show you. We completed this flow control statements now. Now the next part is this one. That is this one. Okay, let me open these notes. Meanwhile, the Eclipse also has to start. So the topic is all about methods, variables, classes, objects, constructors, this keyword overloading, inheritance, and overriding. I'll try to see how much I can complete today. So I may not go very extensive way, but I'll try to cover to some extent. Okay, fine. Coming to the methods and variables, guys. Coming to the methods and variables, we'll start with the session with methods and variables. So in Java programming, the programming logic need to be written inside methods. The data will be stored into the variables, but the logic will be written inside the methods, and everything will be enclosed inside the class. Now, if I ask you some questions, guys, tell me, in Java programming, all the code will be enclosed inside what? Whatever the code we write in Java programming, the program or whatever you see will be enclosed inside what? Yes, you are right. That is a class. Class is the perfect answer. It may be a variable, it may be a method, it may be any other stuff like constructor or whatever that we are going to discuss in the coming sessions. Okay, everything should be written inside the class. Now, the main important things that we generally write inside a class or enclose inside a class are variables and methods. Okay, what are the two main things that we generally enclose inside a class in general in Java? Write in the chat box, guys. Write in the chat box. What are the two main things that we generally enclose inside a class in Java? One is variables. Other one is methods. These are the two main items that we generally enclose inside a class. So what is the purpose of the variables? What is the purpose of the variables? To store data. The purpose of the variables is to store what? What is the purpose of the variables, guys? To store data. Then what is the purpose of the methods? What is the purpose of the methods then? To store the programming logic, to write the programming logic. Okay, actual programming logic will be written inside the methods. Yes, business logic or programming logic or code. Okay, code, some logic related code, okay, will be written inside the methods where data will be stored inside the variables. Got it? Clear, everyone? Class will enclose variables and methods. Variables will store the data, where methods will contain the programming logic. If you want to add two numbers, that logic for adding two numbers should be written inside a method. If you want to multiply, perform some multiplication on some variables, that logic for multiplying that particular variable should be written inside the methods. But data will be stored into the variables. The logic to solve some problem will be written inside the methods. Okay, this is what you need to understand. So everyone clear with this? Class, variables, and methods at a high level clear? Class will enclose variables, methods, variables store the data, methods will store the programming logic. Is clear for everyone? If it is clear, just type C in the chat box, guys. Type C in the chat box if it is clear for you. Great. Now, if I ask you till now, a kind of special method I covered so far. If you have watched my previous sessions and all, there was a method I was using from the beginning day onwards. Okay, the time I started with understanding the Java programs and all, I have used one particular method. What is the name of the method that Java can recognize? And the program execution also starts from that method. What is the name of the method? Main method, right? Exactly. You guys are right. Whatever you are typing the chat box is 100% correct. Main method is a method where the program execution starts and we can write the programming logic. One of the example of the methods where we can write the programming logic is nothing but main method. And main method, when compared to other methods that I'm going to cover in this session, this main method is different, guys. This main method is different. Okay, the main method is different because Java identifies the main method and runs the programming starting from the main method. From where the program execution will start? From the main method. If you remove the main method from the class, what will happen? Can you run the Java program? If a particular class doesn't have the main method, can you run the Java program? No. Main method is a method that Java can recognize and it will start the execution of the code from that particular method. We can write the programming logic inside the main method. We can write the programming logic inside the main method. Similar to other methods, we can also write. But the main method is a kind of special method from where the execution will start. Program execution will start. That you have to understand. Okay. It's a method only. Main method is one example of a method that we are using from the day one onwards. Okay. I'm going to demonstrate creating multiple methods along with the below. First, I'm going to create multiple methods along with main method. Okay, in the class main, and I'll explain you step by step. Okay, demonstrate creating multiple methods. Apart from the main methods, I can create other methods also, guys. I'll just launch. Yeah, where is this? Batch 2 is not coming. Let me, just go there. Just give me a second. Where is batch 2? Batch 2 is here. Select folder, launch. Okay, just wait for a while, guys. So here, let's understand what I'm going to explain till the Eclipse ID launch, right? I'll just explain this. We are going to create multiple methods along with the main method. Is the main method only method which will be available in the class, or can I create other methods along with the main method? Tell me, guys. Is a main method will be the only one and single method that will be that can be created inside the class, or I can create apart from main method, I can create other type of methods also. Non-main methods also can I create inside the class? Yes or no? Can I create non-main methods inside the class? Yes. We can create other methods too inside the same class. Class can contain any number of variables, any number of methods. Everyone type in the chat box. Any number of variables. A class can contain any number of variables, any number of methods, and methods can be only one main method will be there. Remaining all methods will be non-main methods. Okay. Remaining all methods will be a non-main methods. Okay. Normal general methods. Okay, so from where the program execution will not start and all those stuff. Okay, main method is the only method from which the Java will start the program execution of. But compared to the other methods, but if I compare the other methods with the main method, the execution will not start from other methods, guys. Only from the main method the execution will start. But in a class, apart from the main method, we can create other methods too. Okay, so the Eclipse ID has launched. Now I'm going to show you how to create multiple methods along with the main method, how to create multiple methods. So here I'll create a package, guys. Here I'll create a package. Already we created this earlier. Now I'm going to create another package. I'll simply say methods demo. or methods pack. Methods pack. Okay, in the methods pack, I'm going to create a new class. Okay, multiple methods demo. Okay, main method will be there. Apart from that, non-main method also will be there. With main method, I'm going to create the class. You already have an option to select the main method, right? You see, by default, I'm able to create a class, right? A Java file with the class name, and in that we can create the main method. That's good. That's good. Okay, now inside the main method, okay, now inside the main method, I can write the code. But is the main method only the method that can exist inside a class? No. Apart from the main method, you can write other methods also. Here I am going to write system.out.println inside main method. Okay. Now along with this main method, I can write other methods also. Okay, any number of variables, any number of methods. Class can contain any number of variables, any number of variables. For now, forget about the variables, guys. For a while, because topic is all about methods, right? For now, forget about the variables. Let's look into the methods. Public, static, void. I'll just name this as sample1 method, sample1. Okay, like this. You see, what is the naming convention I'm giving? Lower camel case. I explained you yesterday only, right? In the last session, right? That is the naming convention of the methods will be in lower camel case. Lower camel case. Okay. It can have multiple words, but first words, complete letters will be in lower case. Second word onwards, the first letters will be in uppercase. No matter how many words are there, from second onwards, first letter will be capital. Okay. Lower camel case. This is called as lower camel case. Fine. Now, along with the main method, I have one more method. Here also I'll write a print statement saying system.out.println inside sample1 method. So if I run this code, how many methods will be executed? Tell me, guys. If I run this code, there are two methods inside this class. Now, what should be printed in the output if there are two methods inside the class? And if I run the code, what will be printed? What will be printed in the output? Can you tell me, guys? If I earlier there used to be only one method, that is main method. Now I have, along with the main method, I have sample1 method. So what will be printed in the output? Inside main method will be printed. Then what about inside sample1 method? Will it not be printed? So everyone is saying that only inside main method will be executed. What about this method? I also created one more method, right? It should be created, right? It not be printed. Everyone is saying it will not be printed, which is outside method is they are saying class name dot method. They are saying some different answers we are getting. That's okay. But here there are two methods. So what happens when I run this code is I can run this code. You say right click run as Java application. Execution will start from where? Execution will start from there. Where?
From main method.
Main method. Where is the main method? Fifth line. Execution will start here. Starting of the main method. And then it will go inside the main method. Inside main method will be printed in the output console. After this statement got printed, then it will come to the end of the method. It will come to the end of the method. Once it comes to the end of the method, the program execution will stop. Is there any connection between the main method and this method? Do you see any connection between the main method and this method? No connection.
No.
Then how does this particular method will execute? It will not execute by default, guys. Okay. So main method will start here. Execution will start from the main method. Execution will end at the end of the main method. Then how can this particular method will be called? I'll explain later. For now, to prove that only main method will be executed, even though you have hundreds of methods here, but only main method will be executed. Okay, inside main method. Inside sample1 method will not be executed. The reason behind that is if you want this particular method also to be executed, then this main method has to call this particular method. This is called as method calling statement. I'm going to introduce something known as method calling statement. Okay. So I'll simply say sample1 here, the name of the method. Just you can copy paste this part also. You can copy paste this part also. And here put a semicolon. And this becomes something known as method calling statement. Everyone type in the chat box. It is called as a method calling statement. Okay. Yes, we need to call the method using the method calling statement. Everyone type in the chat box. This is called as a method calling statement. Yes, method calling statement. Okay, this is called as method calling statement. So here sample1 method is nothing but it's a statement, guys, which is a method calling statement. So what happens when you run the program this time? The program execution will start from the main method. First, this print statement will be printed. Inside main method will be printed. After that, the control will go to the sample1 method calling statement, and sample1 method calling statement will directly take the control to the sample1 method. Directly from the 9th line will come to the 13th line. From the 9th line, we are going to come to the 13th line because this method calling statement is calling this particular method, and the execution of this particular method will start, and inside sample1 method will be printed. After that, we'll reach the end of this sample1 method. After this method execution is done, the control will go back to the method calling statement which has called it. Who has called this particular method? Sample1 method, right? So from where the control came to the sample1 method, after the end of this method, the control will go back to the same method calling statement. And are there any other lines left out in the main method? After the sample1, are there any other lines left out in the main method? No. So
can you explain again? Like, so it doesn't have to be in the sequence, right? It can, method can put anywhere, like in the line. It
doesn't matter where it is here. Okay, if you put this here also doesn't matter. Okay. If you put this method here also doesn't matter. From where the execution will generally start?
Main method.
And method. In which line main method is there? 11th line. So execution will start from the main method. Okay, it starts here. Inside main method will be printed. After inside main method got this statement got printed, the control will go to the next line in this main method. Sample1 method calling statement is there. It will call this particular method. The control will come here, and the execution of this method will start. And inside sample1 method will be printed. We'll come to the end of this sample1 method. Who has called this sample1 method? From here it is called, right? Again, the control will come back to the sample1 statement. Got it? Clear?
Yeah, okay.
In which order you are writing? The methods are there. Execution will start from the main method. You see, inside main method, inside sample1 method. Clear? Whether you put this method here, it doesn't look good if you put the method there. So it's better to put in bottom, but you can also put in on the top. It doesn't matter. Okay. So this particular statement is calling the method calling statement here. This is a method calling statement, and this is a method that is getting called. Okay. The control will come from method calling statement to the actual method which is being called, and after the end of the method execution, the control will go back to where? After the method which is called is executed, the control will go back to where? Control will go back to where, guys? Tell me. 9th line, which is nothing but the method calling statement. From where it came, from where the method has been called, to the same place after the execution of the method, the control will go back. Are there any other statements after this sample1? Are there any other statements in the main method after sample1? No. So nothing will be executed. You'll come to the end of the main method, execution will stop. Okay. Execution will start at the main method. Execution will end at the main method, at the end of the main method. But in between, what is happening? Sample1 method is called. The control is coming to this method. After the end of the execution of this particular method, which is being called, the control will go back to the method calling statement. And if there are no more statements left, the main method execution also will complete. Okay, that's where you see first inside main method will be printed. Once the control goes here, inside sample1 method will be printed. After that, it will come back here. But since there are nothing to be printed here, the method main method execution has been completed. So hope everyone is clear with this. Hope everyone is clear with this. If it is clear, just type C in the chat box. Guys, if it is clear, type C in the chat box. Methods. Apart from the main method, you can create other methods also. Okay. Fine. Now, my question here is, this is all good. Here, how many non-main methods I created in this program? How many non-main methods I created in this program? Only one. Apart from the main method, I create only one non-main method. Is it possible for me to create multiple non-main methods? Is it possible for me to create multiple non-main methods in the same program? Yes, right? That should be possible. So I'll demonstrate that in another example. Okay. Multiple methods. Demo, multiple methods, demo 2 I'll say with main method I'll create, click on finish, and here I'll come back here and write the code here. I'll simply write on system.out.println start of main method. I'll write start of main method. Instead of writing in the previous way, I'm writing like this. This is the ending of main method, end of main method, and here I'll create a lot of methods here, guys. I'll just see here what I'm trying to do. Public static void. Just name this method as sample1. Sample1 method. Okay, sample method 1, I'll say otherwise. Okay, you can give any name, doesn't matter. And here I'll write down system.out.println, system.out.println inside sample method 1. I told you I can create multiple non-main methods. Non-main methods, I can create any number of multiple. Okay, public, static, void, sample method. I'm just giving another name, like here you can give method A, method B also. Whatever the name you are interested, you can give that, guys. System.out.println, system.out.println inside sample method 2. Okay, now I'll create one more method, that is public, static, void, sample method 3. Here I'll write down system.out.println, system.out.println inside sample method 3. Like that, any number of methods I can create, guys. Apart from this method, I can create any number of methods. Just to show you all the code, right? I have reduced the font a bit. Just see here what I'm trying to do. Now, if I run this code, what will be printed? Tell me. By default, if I run the code, what will be printed? By default, if I run the code, what will be printed? What will be printed, guys, if I run this code?
Only main method.
Just two statement.
Start of the main
main-
method, end of the main
End
method.
of the main method.
Right? These methods will not be executed at all because we have not called them, right? So if you run the code, you can clearly see that from the previous examples also we have understood that start of the main method, end of the main method, all the methods which are there, statements which are there in the main method got executed. But what if I want all these other 3 non-main methods also to get executed? Means the control should flow from the main methods to the other methods. So from this method, I'm going to call this sample method 1, let's say. Okay. Not only this one, I would like to call sample method 2. Sample method 2. Not only this one, I would like to call sample method 3. Now, how the control will flow, let's understand. If I run this code, what will happen? The execution will start from which line? In this program, in which line the execution will start? Program execution will start from which line?
System.out start of main method from that.
Starting of main method, which is? Which line this is?
Inside.
Main method. 5th line.
Main method.
This is the 5th line. Execution will start from the 5th line, main method. Okay. From the 5th line, it will start. Then curly brace will come and will go inside the method. And here start of the main method will be printed. First of all, what will be printed? Start of the main method will be printed. After that, next line is sample method 1. This is a method calling statement, yes or no? This is a method calling statement, yes or no?
Yes.
It is a method calling statement. So sample method 1 will call which method? Sample method 1 will be called, or sample method 2 will be called, or sample method 3 will be called. This will call this particular method have matching with the name, that is 17th line. The control will come from 9th line to the 17th line. Once we go to the 17th line, the starting of the sample method 1, that here inside sample method 1 will be printed in the output. Okay, inside sample method 1 will be printed in the output, and we'll come to the 21st. So the execution has completed for the sample method 1. And once the execution is completed for sample method 1, where the control will go back? Where the control will go after the execution of this method?
Sample method 2.
10th line. Line 10, yeah.
Actually, it come to the 9th line only. It's not 10th line. The control will go to the 9th line, but since already it is called, right? There is nothing to be done with the 9th line. So then the next line, but the control will actually come to the 9th line, ending of the 9th line, or whatever you say. Whatever the method calling statement is there, like a boomerang. You know about boomerang, right? If you throw the boomerang, what will happen? If you throw it correctly, it come back to you, right? Same thing. Your sample method 1 is throwing the boomerang, and the boomerang went here and come back to the same place. Okay, the same 9th line from where the method has been called and control came here. After the execution of this particular method, the control will go back to the same method calling statement.
Okay.
Okay, not 10th line, it will go to the 9th line. Okay, but already it is called, right? So there is nothing to be done as a sample method 1. The execution will go to the 10th line now. Okay, since this particular method is already called, though it control came to the 9th line, it will go to the next line, that is sample method 2. Now what happens? It is also a method calling statement. You already know that this is also method calling statement. It's also a method calling statement. So the control will come from the sample method 2 to which line now? This time sample method 2 will come to which line? 23rd line.
20.
And yes, sample method 2, 23rd line, and this print statement inside sample will be printed. Inside sample method 2 will be printed, and end of the sample method 2. End of the sample method 2, and control will go back to the where? Which line it will go back now? Tell me. Yes, this time it will go to the 10th line, right? After the execution of this particular method, which has been called using the method calling statement, control will go back to the same line like a boomerang, 10th line itself. Again, the execution will continue since there is nothing left out with this 10th line. The control will go to the next line. That is sample method 3. This is also a method calling statement. Another method calling statement. Okay, it's also a method calling statement. And here what happens? From this line, the control will come back to, will go to which line? Yes, 29th line. You guys are right. You're following properly. It will go to the 29th line. The program will start. This method will execution will start. Inside sample method 3 will be printed. End of the sample method 3. After this execution of this particular method is completed, then the control will go back to which line? Yes, you are right, guys. 11th line, this line. Since there is nothing to be done at this statement, it will go to the next line, 12th line, nothing is there. It will go to the 13th line. Then what will be printed? End of the main method will be printed. So can you guess the output? After the end of the main method, what will happen? The control will come to the end of the main method and program execution will stop, right? That's where the execution of the program will stop. Execution will start from here. Execution has ended here. In between that, the control jumped from the 9th line to 17th line and came back to the 9th line back after the execution of this particular method. Then it went to the 10th line. From 10th line, it went to 23 and 27, and then it went back to the 10th line. After that, it went to the 11th line. From 11th line, it came to the 29th line, and up to 33 line, it has executed and come back to the 11th line. After the 11th line, 12th line, 13th line, end of the main method, and end of the main method clearly. Okay, the program execution will stop. So the output will be something like this: start of the main method. After that, control went here. So inside main method 1, after control went back here, then next statement will be inside sample method 2. Then it will come back here, and then this line, and inside sample method 3. At the end of the main method will be printed. First start of the main method, then inside main method, inside sample method 1, then inside sample method 2, then inside sample method 3, and finally end of main method. Clear everyone how the output will come? Is that clear? You have to understand the flow of the execution of the code. That's very important. Okay, start of the main method, inside sample method 1, inside sample method 2, inside sample method 3, end of main method. Okay, now everyone clear with the output? How the output is coming is clear, or any confusions here? Guys, anyone have any confusions in this program? If it is clear, just type C in the chat box, guys. If you have any doubts or something, you can ask me right away. Any small doubt also you can ask, no worries. If you are not able to understand, I am here to explain. Let me know if it is clear or not. Just type in the chat box if everyone is clear. Yes.
Sir, can I call same method twice?
Yes, that I am going to teach you. Don't worry. For now, this program is clear, na? This program is clear for you?
Clear.
Manju? Yes, great. I'm going to cover all the stuff. Don't worry, guys. Following the same method and everything. Whatever your doubt is, very real doubt. Yes, you can call the. Can we create method inside a non-main method? No. You cannot create nested methods, right? That won't be possible. You cannot create method inside another method. That is not possible. Okay. We cannot nest the methods. Methods should be separate entities only. Class will enclose the methods. A method cannot contain another method. That is not possible. Okay, can we call method inside non-method? Yes, we can call that. Not only from the main method, you can non-method methods also can call the other non-main methods or any other stuff. Okay. Yes, everything I'm going to cover you. Whatever the question you guys are asking me, those are valid questions. Okay, can we call the same method multiple times? Answer is yes. Okay, can this method call this method? Yes, that is possible. It's not the only main method can call. Next example will be like that only. Just see and observe. Okay. So whatever the doubts you asked, right, I'm going to clear you. Anyhow, I was able to explain that. So multiple times calling demo. Multiple times calling demo. Okay, with main method I'm creating. I got created this. Yes. So this is the main method, I'll just increase the font a bit so that you can see properly. So here I'll simply say system.out.println, start of main method as usual, start of main method I'll say. And here I'll write down system.out.println, end of main method I'll say, that's fine. Now I'm going to create one more non-main method, public static void sample A, I'll say this time, sample method A, or, you can give any name, that's okay. Sample A or sample method A or method A, whatever you want to give, you can give, guys, no issues at all. Okay, now here I'll write down system.out.println inside sample method A. Like this, I'll write the code. Okay, done. Now I'm going to call this method. From the main method, I'm going to call this method. Sample is a method calling statement. So this is the first time I'm calling this sample method A. Can I call the same method multiple times? That's what your question, right? Can I call this method from the main method multiple times? That was your first question, right? That I got from you guys. Yes, the answer is yes. Simply what you have to do? Copy and paste. If you want to call this method 5 times, okay? This is the first time, this is the second time, this is the third time, this is the fourth time, this is the fifth time. Okay, like this, I can call the method any number of times. Okay, 10 times if you want, you can call it. Okay, so right click, run as Java application. What will happen? I'll explain this before running the code. The execution will start from the main method, right? Which line? The execution will start from which line, guys? Tell me. The execution will start from which line? The number 5th line. That is the main method. Here, starting of the program, and you'll go inside the main method. Start of the main method will be printed first. Start of the main method will be printed first. After that, it will go to the 9th line, where first time you are calling this sample method A. The control will come from the 9th line to which line? 9th line to which line? The control will come 19th line, correct. Sample method A, and the code will be executed inside the whatever the logic that is written inside the method will be executed inside sample method A will be printed. After the execution of the sample method A, the control will go back to which line? From 23rd line to which line it will go back? Everyone, the control will move on to the which line? Lot of answers I'm getting. Most of the answers are 9. Some answers are 5 and some answers are 10. The answer is 9, guys. Whatever the method that called this particular method, right? To that method calling statement only as a boomerang, it will go. Okay. From 9th line, we came to the method, right? At the end of this method execution, the control will come back to the same 9th line itself. Okay. 9 is the answer. 9 is the answer. Okay. So you have to understand these concepts. From here, the control came to the 19th line because of the method calling statement. The required method which is called will be called, and the inside sample method A will be printed, and end of this particular sample method A, and control will come back to the 9th line. After that, since there is nothing to be done with the 9th line, the control will go to the 10th line. In the 10th line, again the same method will be called. Okay, sample method A. The same method we are calling for the second time. We are calling the same method. So what will happen? The control will come back to which line again? From 10th line, control will go which line? The control will go to 19th line again, right? Again 19th line. Sample method A calling for the second time. Here inside sample method A will be printed for the second time. And once the method execution is completed, control from the 23rd line, the control will go back to which line now? Yes, this time, whatever the second time method calling statement is, the control will go there. Since there is nothing to be done here, the control will move on to the next line, that is 11th line. Again, the control will come back to the 19th line. Inside sample method A will be printed for third time. After the execution of the method, the control will go back to the which line now? 11th line, correct. Since there is nothing to be done here in the same line, we'll go to control, go to the next line, 12th line. Control from 12th line will come again to the 19th line. And again, this inside sample method A will be printed for the 4th time because the same method has been called for the 4th time. After the end of the execution of this method, the control will come back to the method which has called it, that is 12th line. Then since there is nothing to be done, we'll go to the next line and sample method A will be again called for the 5th time. This same method has been called. Control will come back to the 19th line. Inside sample method A will be run and control will go back to the 13th line as you're rightly saying. Okay, after 13th line, since there is nothing, 14th line, then 15th line, end of the main method and end of the real main method also. Okay, program execution will stop here. In the 17th line, program execution will stop. So here, start of the main method. After that, inside sample A method will be printed. Method A will be printed how many times? Because of we are calling this method 5 times. This statement is going to run how many times? This method is going to run how many times? 5 times. So inside sample method A, 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 and then control will come back to the 13th line and then 14, 15 will be executed. End of main method at the end will be there. Run this code and see whether you are getting a proper output, yes or no. Start of the main method. Inside sample method A, 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 end of the main method. Clear, guys? Can you call the same method multiple times? Is that possible now? Tell me. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible to call the same method any number of times. There is no, even you don't call also, no problem. 0 or any number of times. Okay. A method that is created inside the class along with the main method can be called 0 to any number of times, up to you. Okay. So this is one example. Now the other question I got here is that can a non-main method, till now I am showing you that main method is calling the non-main methods, right? What about these non-main methods? They can call other methods. The answer is still yes. I'm going to show you that. Okay, I'm going to show you that. Here I'm going to create a new class. I'm going to create a new class. Methods calling other methods. Okay, demo. With main method I'll create. And here you can see that this is a class inside which we have the main method. Here I'll write down system.out.println, system.out.println inside main method. I'll say inside main method. Now here at the end I'll say system.out.println end of main method. Start of main method. I'll say here start of main method. Here end of main method. I'll say okay. Now I'll create one more method which is a non-main method. Public static void sample A. I'm just giving a short name this time. You can give the method names as you wish. Sample A method, which is nothing but system.out.println. And here I'll write in start of sample A. And here at the end I'll write down system.out.println end of sample A. I'll create one more method, two more methods otherwise to make the program more understandable for you. Public static void sample B. I'll say the name of the method is sample B. Here in this case you can give any name. System.out.println start of sample B. I'll say, and here I'll write down system.out.println end of sample B. I'll say. I'll create one more method, that is public static void sample C, and I'll say system.out.println start of sample C, and here I'll write down system.out.println end of sample C. Okay, like that I created multiple methods here, guys. Now I'll make this main method called sample A method. Okay, here who is calling the sample A method? Tell me, guys, which method is calling the sample A method? Tell me which method is calling the sample A method. Yes, main method is calling the sample A method. So main method, from main method sample A method is being called. Now what I will do is I'll make the sample A method called sample B method. Here you see sample A method is calling sample B method. Now sample B method, let's say it will call sample C method. Okay, it's up to us which method can call which and all. It's up to us. Okay, You can call anything. Again, sample B can call sample A, like that. Any method can call anything, guys. And there is no rule and regulation in particular order like that. Okay. But the execution have to start from the connection should start from the main method. Afterwards, any method can call any other method in the program. No problem. Okay. The sample B can call sample A, sample B can call sample C, sample A can call both sample B and sample C also. It's up to you. It's up to you how a method can call other methods is up to you. So now if I write the code like this, let's say I'll just reduce the font here, even though you know, the kind of font is small, but still maybe at least you are able to see at a high level, right? The reason I have reduced the font is that you'll not understand if I don't reduce the font. That's why I have reduced the font. Just wait for a while. So execution will start from the 5th line. Start of the main method will be printed. After that, control will go to the 9th line and sample A method will be called. From 9th line, the control will go to which line? 15th line. From 9th line, control will go to which line? Tell me, guys. After start of main method got printed, sample A, 15th line. Then start of sample A will be printed. Then sample B means from 19th line, control will go to, from 19th line, control will go to, yes, 25th line. 25th line is 25, right? From 19th, the control will go to 25th line. And in the 25th line, start of sample B will be executed. Yes, sample start of, after start of main method, then start of sample A, then start of sample B, then control will go to the 29th line. From 29th line, control will go to, yes, 35 line. In that start of sample C will be printed, and end of sample C also will be printed. End of sample C also will be printed. This method is not calling any other method. So start of sample C, end of sample C. After the execution of the sample C at the line 41, from 41st line, 41st line, from 41st line, control will go back where? Tell me, guys, control will go back where? This is very important. Try to answer me correctly.
25th.
5th line.
Which line?
9th line.
9th
5th
line?
line, right? The main method. 5th line.
Okay.
11th
25th line. 25th
Ninth
line.
line.
29th line is the correct answer. Able to understand? Who is calling this method? Who is calling this method? Is this sample A calling this method? No, sample C is calling this method.
sample B.
Sample C is calling sample C method. At the end of the sample C method execution, the control will go to the method calling statement, that is 29th line. Got it clear? Or any
Yeah.
confusions? The execution starts from the main method, that is 5th line. Then start of the main method got printed. Then sample A, control will come to sample A. Then start of sample A will be printed. Sample B, the control will come to the sample B method, that is 25th line. Then start of sample B will be printed. Then sample C method execution will be, method calling statement will call the sample C. Control will come to the 35th line. Start of sample C, end of sample C, and the complete method sample C method got executed. Now control will go back where? 29th line, which is calling the sample C. Which statement is calling the sample C? After the execution of that particular method will go as a boomerang to the method calling statement. Which method calling statement called this particular method? That method calling statement control will go back after the execution. After start of sample C, end of sample C, control will go to the sample C method calling statement, and then 31st line, end of sample B will be printed. Then at the end of the sample B execution, control will go back to which line? Tell me now. This time you have to tell me. At the end of sample B, it will go to which line? Everyone type in the chat box. Yes, you guys are right. It will go back to the 19th line. This is the method calling statement which is calling this method. So control will go to the sample B. And after sample B, there is nothing to be done. End of sample A will be printed. And here, after the execution of the sample A, the control will go back to which line? Who is calling sample A? 9th line is calling the sample A. Control will come back here. And here, end of main method will be printed, and the 13th line will be the ending of the program. Clear now? Clear, everyone? 5th line, then from 9 to 15th line, then 19th to 25th line, then 29th to 35th line. After the end of this, from 41st line to the 29th line. After this, 33 to 19th line. After this, from 23 to 9th line. After that, 13th line is the last line. Okay, everyone clear now how the execution will happen and how the methods can call other methods? Main method can all, not only main method call other methods, guys. Other methods also can call other methods. Okay, it's not only any method can call any method. Okay, that's the answer. You see, start of the main method, start of the sample A, start of the sample B, start of the sample C, end of sample C, end of sample B, end of sample A, end of main method. If you understand this, then you are good to go. Okay, any method can call any method. Just type in the chat box, guys. In Java program, any method can call any method. Just write that line. Any method can call any method, any number of times again. Okay, any method can call any method. It doesn't matter. There is no parent child, there is no child parent. In the program, there can be multiple methods. In that multiple methods, any of the method can call any other method. There's no rule, no regulation here. Okay, yes. Any method can call any other method any number of times. Doesn't matter. Okay, and main method can call other methods, and non-main method can call other methods. Any method can call any methods any number of times. Okay, if you are good with this, you are very good. Okay, great. So I think your doubts got cleared already now. Okay, with explanation, right? Yes, this part is done now. Okay, with that explanation, this part is done, guys. Okay. Okay, there's one more question coming from Pradeep. That is non-main method can call main method? Can a non-main method can call main method? Can a non-main method can call the main method? Yes or no? Generally speaking,
No.
program execution should start from where?
Main method.
Main method. But who is calling the main method? Can anyone tell the answer? Who is calling the main method? Someone has to call the main method, right? Otherwise, how the execution will start from the main method? Who is that? Who is calling the main method? Anyone know the answer? JVM, Java Virtual Machine. Okay, the answer is JVM, guys. Okay, JVM in Java Virtual Machine we generally call. When you install Java in your machine, right? JVM of that particular machine will be installed, which is responsible for running the code actually. Okay, JVM is the one in Java which is responsible for running the code. We generally say Java is running the code, but internally in Java, who is running the code? JVM is running code. JVM stands for Java Virtual Machine. That JVM will call this main method. Okay, it's better that JVM has to call the main method, guys. Other methods should not call the main method. Okay, ethically, other methods should not call the main method. Let's try it out. Let's see sample C, and let's try it out. What will happen if I call the main method here? And here there is a argument, a parameter. I didn't cover the parameters for you, but I'll give some parameter here. That is new. What is that? Okay, very difficult for me now. How can I? String array args is there, so I'll do one thing. I'll just create an array here. String arr is equal to Arun, Varun, Tarun. Okay, and here I'll give arr. Is error gone? It is okay to call the main method. Is a non-main method is able to call the main method? Yes or no? Is a non-main method able to call the main method? Yes or no? But it's not ethical. You should not be doing that. You see what will happen in the output. Will the output stop? Will the execution stop? It will go into infinite loop until, you see, until this stack overflow kind of error will come. Okay, until this stack overflow kind of error will come, guys. Okay, I cannot show you that error here because a lot of things have been already printed here. So if I run the program again, just carefully observe what is happening here. In the beginning itself, you have to understand. Okay, I cannot stop the program also. It's very fast. Okay, I cannot show you what type of exception that is coming here. I tried my level best in forcibly stopping that, but let's see, it didn't get captured. Okay, it didn't get captured. I'll simply say Control A, Control C. I'll try to copy out that to any file or something and see if there is anything that I can capture from here. No. Okay, Stack Overflow error will come. Definitely the kind of exception that will come is Stack Overflow. Okay, so what is happening here is main method is calling sample A. Sample A is calling sample B. Sample B is calling sample B. Sample B is calling sample C. Sample C is again calling sample A. Sorry, main method. Again, the execution will start here. Again, sample A will be called. The control will come back here. Sample B. Again, sample B will be called. Then sample C. Sample C will be called. Then main method. Again, control will come to the main method. Again, sample A will be called. Will it stop anywhere? Is it possible to stop anywhere? It won't stop, infinite. So the program will run until the memory that is allocated to this particular in Java, some memory will be allocated to this particular program by JVM. Okay, we generally call that memory as stack memory kind of stuff. Okay, some stack memory. Okay, to Java program, which memory will be allocated by JVM. Java allocates Java heap memory from the OS and then manages a heap for the when the application creates a new object, the JVM creates. Okay, don't worry about that. Okay, if a non-main method calls a main method, the program will go to infinite loop. It's possible to call. Okay, the answer is someone has asked, Pradeep has asked me, like, can a non-main method can call main method? Yes, it is possible, but problem is it's not. It will become recursive. Correct. Recursive we can call. Okay, it will call itself. It will go into that infinite loop. Okay, the program will go to infinite loop and result in which exception. Okay, some error, runtime error will come. What is that exception? We'll see. Stack overflow. Simple. It will be like stack overflow. Error will come. This is the error, guys. It's not an exception. Also, it's an error in Java. Clear now? Clear? This questions may come in interviews, guys. Okay, this kind of different variety of questions may come in the interviews. The non-main method calls a main method, the program will go to infinite loop and result in which error? Everyone type in the chat box. Which error? Stack overflow error. Once the memory that is allocated for the program by JVM is completed, stack will overflow. Stack memory will overflow. That's why stack overflow error will come. Okay. The non-main method calls the main, JVM will create a new stack frame for the main method. This new stack frame will be placed on the top of the existing. The main method will then start executing. When the main method finishes executing, the JVM will pop the stack frame for the main method of the stack. This will return control to them. Then okay, this will create a new stack frame for the main method, which will be placed on top. This process will continue indefinitely, resulting in an infinite loop. Stack overflow error occurs when the JVM runs out of the stack space. Stack is a region of memory that is used to store the stack frames for the methods that are currently getting executed. For every method, some stack memory will be allocated. Okay, when you call the methods again and again and again, infinite loop, right? Once the memory is done, whatever the JVM, some allocated memory to that program will be there now, that exits, then stack overflow error will come. To avoid this error, you should never call the main method from a non-main method. Even though it is possible, we should not call. Okay, even though it is possible, we should not call. Clear, everyone? Why we should not call the main method is clear. Why we should not call a main method. Only you have to leave that to. We should not, in real time, no one will call the main method, guys. Okay, once it is called, by JVM, it is called. If you call the main method, you go to infinite loop and result in stack overflow error. Why we should not call main method? It will result in stack overflow error. Okay, that's what is the answer. If you do, it will go to the infinite loop and result in stack overflow error. Now guys, the next part here is till now we have seen some methods which doesn't intake any data. When you're calling the method, no data is being called to the passed by the method calling statement to the actual method, right? That particular method is not intaking any data. I'm going to create a class here, guys. I'll just name this class as a parameterized method. Methods demo. Okay. With main method, I'll create the program. Execution will start from main method. Without main method, we cannot run the program. So main method should be there. And here from the main method here I'll write, okay, here from the main method, okay, you know the execution of the code. I will not write start of main method, end of main method. I'm not going to write anymore. Here I'm going to create a method, public static void, say hello. The name of the method is say hello. That's it. Now the main name of the method is what? Say hello. So here, whenever this method is called, what will be printed? Hello will be printed. Hello. That's it. Now, if I call this method from the main method, if I call say hello, what will be the output of the program? Tell me. What will be the output of the program? Execution will start from the main method. Say hello will take the control from 7th line to the 11th line, and the hello will be printed with exclamatory mark. And at the end of this method execution, control will go to say hello, and program execution will stop here. So what will be printed in the output? What will be printed in the output, guys? Hello, exclamatory mark, whatever the text I give, that will be printed in the output. In the output, hello will be printed. That's good. Now I'll create one more method. Just observe what I'm going to do. Public static void welcome guest. Here I'll say string name or guest name. Okay, string guest name. Here I'll write down system.out.println. Okay, welcome plus guest name. I'll say what is this place. I'll tell you in a while. Don't worry. Why I'm using the plus operator here, I'll tell you. Don't worry. For now, I'm simply writing welcome plus guest name. Okay, fine. Now, if I have to call this particular method, welcome guest method, I cannot, I cannot call like this. Can I call like that? Can I call welcome guest method like that? You see, say hello method is fine. It doesn't have any parameters. So you can call it without any arguments. But here, welcome guest method has one parameter. This is called as what, guys? Everyone type in the chat box. This is called as a parameter. Parameter. Everyone type in the chat box. Parameter. This particular item that is there in the circular brackets of this particular method is called as a parameter. This is called as a parameter, guys. Okay. How many parameters are there? One parameter is there. In this particular method, how many parameters are there? If I ask you, what should be your answer? Only one parameter, that is guest name, which is declared or defined with string class, is one parameter here. Guest name is one parameter we have. That's the reason if you're trying to call that particular kind of method which has 0 parameters, no issue is coming here. You see, you can call the method directly without passing any arguments. Here, no arguments are there. No arguments. You don't have to pass any data here. Okay. This particular method doesn't have any parameters. Here, no arguments, no parameters. 0 parameters. Since 0 parameters are there, you don't have to pass any arguments here, or directly call the method as it is. But here, welcome guest is not like that. Welcome guest method, if you can see, it contains one parameter. So how many arguments I have to pass from here? How many arguments as data I have to pass from here? From the 8th line, the method calling statement. One argument, okay? And that should be in which format? This variable is declared with which type? String class type. String class type. This variable is declared with string class type. So we have to pass a string literal. I'll just give my name like Arun Motori here. What will happen? Arun Motori, string literal text will be passed to the guest name. And here system.out.println. This is also a string literal, yes or no? This welcome space is also string literal, yes or no? It's surrounded by double quotes. Guys, tell me, is welcome surrounded by double quotes is a string literal, yes or no? It is a string literal, right? Along with the string literal, I am using what symbol? I'm using which symbol there? This one, plus symbol. Plus means addition, right? Plus generally means addition. But here, are there numbers I'm trying to add? This welcome is a number, or the guest name, that string Arun Motori string text I am passing is a number or a string literal? These particular things are string literals or numbers? String literals. Yeah. String. In case of string literals, if you use a plus operator, the plus operator no more will act like addition operator. Rather, it will act like something known as concatenation operator. Everyone type in the chat box concatenation. Concatenation. Concatenation operator. Here, plus is not a addition. If someone asks you like this, they will in the interviews they'll ask you some string literal. They'll put and then plus sign. What are the variable name that can be anything. If one of the operands is a string literal, then plus is no more an addition operator. It's nothing but a concatenation operator. Concatenation operator. Concatenation operator. concatenation operator. Okay. So what is the purpose of the concatenation operator? It will append the things like gluing. Glue, you know, right? There are two items which got break. You will put a glue. What will happen? They will get attached. This welcome string text will be attached to another string text that is called as Arun Motori. Welcome space Arun Motori. That resultant of this operation will be welcome space Arun Motori. The guest name welcome Arun Motori will be printed by the println statement. If I run this code, you will see the output here. First, hello will be printed. Then this method calling statement will call say hello and hello will be printed. Then welcome guest will call this method and Arun Motori will be passed here and welcome space concatenated with Arun Motori string literal will become welcome Arun Motori. Clear everyone? Clear how the concatenation is happening? Clear? Yes, here plus symbol is concatenation operator. If it is clear for you, just type C in the chat box. Here, how many parameters were there? How many parameters were there? One parameter. Now I'm going to create one more method. I'm going to create one more method. Public static void add two numbers. The name of the method is add two numbers. Here I'll say int a comma int b. How many parameters are there in this method? Tell me. In this particular method, how many parameters are there? The parameter a, parameter b. Two parameters. One is a parameter, another one is b parameters. And this a parameter is declared with which primitive data type? Int primitive data type. Okay. And b parameter is declared with which data type? Primitive data type. Int primitive data type. Jesse, are you asking about this plus symbol? There should be any space here? Not required. Not required. It's okay to provide as per the, if you say Control Shift F, right? Some space will come, but it's not compulsory. If you want to write in a better way, you can provide the space, but it's not compulsory. Okay. So generally, I'll create like this. No, not a problem at all. Okay. Not a problem at all. It's but if you want to properly follow the formatting right at the end, right? Control Shift F. If the space is required, space will come. If the space is not required, it will not come. But that's okay. I generally used to write like this only. That's okay. Okay. It's not a big mistake. Okay. If you can give space, that's very good. If you don't give space, also not a problem. Space is optional there. Okay. Clear, Jesse? Okay, then great. Now here, how many parameters are there? Two parameters, and both the parameters are of int data type, in primitive data type. Now, here inside this, I'm going to create another variable int sum. I'll say int sum, and I'll say sum is equal to a plus b. A plus b is the sum, and here I'll say system.out.println sum. Now, what will happen? What will be the output that will be printed? Okay, here I have to call this method, right? First of all, I have to call this method, add two numbers method. I have to call. I'll copy the name of the method and paste it here and put a semicolon here. Now tell me, guys, why the error is coming? Why the error is coming in the method calling statement, 9th line? Why the error is coming?
We should pass the parameters inside the
Yes, we should pass the arguments to the parameters. You have to say arguments. These are not parameters. Here, one argument. Okay, the terminology is argument. Okay, here how many arguments will need to be passed? Since two parameters are there, two arguments should be there. Okay, we have to call them as arguments. Okay, the things the data that you are passing to the parameters of the method while calling the method are called as arguments, and the variables that are declared in the method declaration statement as with some data types are called as parameters. Okay, you have to know the terminology well. Now here, if I pass 5,4, then what will happen? First, say hello will be called hello. Exclamation mark will be printed. Then welcome guest will be called. Arun Motori will go here and welcome Arun Motori will be printed. Then add two numbers method will be called with 5, if I pass only one parameter, that's also a problem. You see, this has two parameters. If I pass only one argument, there is a problem because there are two parameters and one argument you are passing. It will not accept. You have to give exact same number. If you give more also, it's a problem. If you give more also, it's a problem. Error will come. Okay. So you have to give the exact number of arguments which are matching with the number of parameters, and the data type of the parameters also should match here. If you are passing string literal, will it take Arun here in this case? In place of 4, can I pass Arun here? Is it possible? Tell me, guys, is it possible to pass Arun in this case? Not possible, because here the parameter is of int data type. How can it store Arun kind of text, right? String literal cannot be stored into the variable which is declared within data type. So here we have to pass a number only. Even you cannot pass decimal value also. You see 4.5 also it's giving a problem. So integer numbers I'm going to give. 5 will go into A and 4 will go into B and here int sum is equal to a plus b, sum is initially nothing, then sum is equal to a plus b means 5 plus 4 is how much? 5 plus 4 is how much, guys? 9. 9 will be stored into sum. If you print the sum, what will be printed in the output? Tell me. What will be printed in the output? 9 will be printed in the output. You see that. You see 9 will be printed in the output. Now, I don't want the 9 to be printed as simple as that. I would like to write one more statement here. System.out.println. I'll write something like this. Okay. The sum of the addition of, otherwise the addition of plus a and plus b is plus sum. Is it possible to write the statement like this? Is it possible to write the statement like this? The sum of a and b is sum. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. How that is getting possible? This part is what? This part that I highlighted is which type of literal that is? Surrounded by double quotes is which literal?
String.
String. Now plus will act like a addition operator or concatenation. When there is string. Concatenation. Okay, the string literal is getting concatenated with a. What is the value of a?
5.
5. 5 is a number, right? But 5 will be converted to string. String plus number will become what? String. String plus number will become what? Final output will be string literal. String literal plus integer literal will become which literal? Output is string literal. Got it now? Because plus will do the concatenation operator. If one of the operands, it's not compulsory that both operands should be of string literal type. If at least one side of the operand is string literal, then the string literal will get concatenated with the other operand, whether it is a string literal or non-string literal, doesn't matter. Here plus will act like a concatenation, and the addition of 5. Till here, what will be printed here? If I print till here, the addition of 5 will be printed. And is another string literal which is again getting concatenated, and 4 is completely converted to string, guys. Okay, is 9. The addition of a and b is 9 will be printed. That is the addition of 5 and 4 is 9 will be printed. The addition of 5 and 4 will be 9. Now understood, guys, why we are writing this plus symbols in the print statements? To concatenate the string literal with the remaining stuff, we can write like that. Okay. Okay. Now, if I'll give you one more thing, you have to tell me the output. Okay. System.out.println. Okay. I'll write something like this. Okay. A. Otherwise, I'll say the plus a plus b plus sum. Now tell me what will be the output. If you are able to give the answer for this output, you are very good in the Java program, this concatenation. Your concatenation will happen. But what is the output of this print statement? Tell me. Da is the string literal. Will be concatenated with what? A is 5. Da 5, 4, 9. Yes, Raghu, you are right. Raghu, NV, you are right. The 5, 4, 9 will be printed. Everyone is clear with that output? Here a plus b addition will not happen. First it will start from the left side. From left side it will start. Da will be there. Da string literal will be appended with what? Concatenated with a. Da 5 will be string. The resultant is string. Da 5 will be concatenated with 4. Da 5, 4. It will not be da 9. It will be da 5, 4. Okay. Then da 5, 4 and concatenation with 9. Resultant sum of is 9. The 549, the 549 will be printed in the output. If you are able to understand this output, you are good, guys. Okay. The 549. Here, place is not acting like addition operator. This kind of tricky questions will come in the interviews. You should be able to answer them. Clear, everyone? What is concatenation is clear for everyone. I'm not only covering the methods and parameters here. I'm also explaining about the place, using the place as a concatenation operator. Again, I'll cover this concatenation operator later, but we should. You see some print statements will write like this. You should not get confused. Okay. So here internally string concatenation is happening. That's why output is coming like that. Okay. Fine. Then next thing is, till now the methods were intaking the data. Are they returning any data? You see, let's say I'll give you one example, guys. You go to one function. Okay. You go to one function, birthday party. Okay, with your family, you went to the birthday party, and to the birthday boy or birthday girl, you took one gift and you gave them. Okay, and at the end of the function, while you are leaving, once you go to the stage and leave the stage, right? The people who are hosting the birthday party of their son or daughter, right? Okay, they will be giving some gift back, some return gift. Everyone know about the return gift concept? It's kind of popular, right, in India? If you go with a gift, guest will take a gift to the birthday boy or birthday girl, and the people who are hosting the birthday party also will give you the gift back because you attended, right? As a token of appreciation that you have attended, they invited and you attended the birthday party, they will give you the gift from their side also backwards. Okay, again to the back to the case, another gift they will give. Maybe for the birthday, mostly they will give some some kind of small gift items to the kids. Actually, the kids can enjoy that, some toys or something. Okay, some erasers or whatever they will give you. Okay, so here till now if you see we have talked about the method which it doesn't intake anything. This particular say hello is intaking anything. This particular method is saying that I'm going to host a birthday party, don't bring any gift to me. Okay, you are not giving any gift, I am not going to give any return gift back to you. Say hello is saying that I'm not going to intake any gift, I'm not going to return any gift. Nothing intaken, nothing returned. Right or wrong? Yes or no? This method is not intaking any data, not returning any data. Is that correct? If it is right, just type S in the chat box. Guys, this method is not intaking any data, it's not returning any data. Right? Now, if you talk about this method, it is intaking any data. This particular method is intaking any data. Yes or no? Yes.
Yes.
This guest name is nothing but the data that is intaking. It's intaking the data in the form of the guest name. But is it returning any particular data back to the method calling statement? As a return token, as a return gift, it is giving it is returning any data back to the method calling statement? No. Right? No return. What about this method? This method is also intaking two data, two amount of data, two parameters. So two sets of data. Okay. And two count of data, but it's not returning anything back. Right? Whenever a method doesn't intake anything, it will not have any parameters. That's correct. But when a method doesn't return anything, it will have a keyword known as what? The particular method doesn't return anything to the method calling statement. The keyword will be what? Void. Void means nothing. What is the meaning of void? Nothing will be returned. It's mandatory, guys. Okay, you may think that okay, anyhow I'm not writing anything. Is compulsory to write void here? Is it compulsory to write void when a particular method is not returning anything? They have to write void here as a return type. Yes, void is a return type keyword which states that this particular method is not going to return anything. You can call this method, but this method is not going to return anything back to you, even though you call. Void means nothing will be returned. In Java, it's mandatory to provide void keyword before the methods to state that the method is not going to return anything back. It's mandatory. It's mandatory. Void means nothing, and it's mandatory to write and specify to the methods that this method is not going to return anything back. This method also, which is intaking one data, is not returning anything back, so void keyword is there. This particular method also, which is intaking two data in the form of parameters, is not returning anything back to the method calling statement, so void is there. Void is a keyword. It's a predefined Java keyword that Java can recognize and should be specified before the methods. If that particular methods are not going to return anything back, the void keyword will be there. And coming to the main method also, same thing, guys. JVM will call the main method. Do the main method has to return anything back to the JVM? Do the main method has to return anything back to the JVM? No, void should be there. Always void will be there, guys. Okay, main method means void. Main method is not going to return any data back to the JVM. Hence, every time when you create a main method, void keyword should be there. Now, slow by slow, you are able to understand the Java programs, guys. So one by one keyword is getting clear, right? Package name is already, package keyword is already clear for you. Class keyword is already clear for you. In this now, void keyword is clear for you, right? Void keyword is clear for you. Remaining things are public is there. Public static keywords I didn't cover, but void keyword now it got covered. Like when we go through the programs, right? One by one keyword will be cleared for you. Okay. As I explained in the previous sessions, right? The beginning session, I told you, right? I'm going to cover the unexplained keyword to you during the sessions. So this void keyword means return nothing. Okay, this main method or any other method, if it doesn't return anything, main or non-main methods, main method compulsory is it will return nothing, as JVM will not expect any data back. Okay, so compulsory it should be void, but there is a possibility that for the non-main methods you can write any other return type apart from void that I'm going to cover now in the next example. Okay, in the next example I'm going to cover that. I already demonstrated single multiple parameterized methods and passing arguments to these methods. How many parameters I can create, guys? Another question before I go to the method calling returning some data back to the method calling statement. Here 0 parameters. Here 1 parameter. Here 2 parameters. So how many number of parameters are possible? How many number of any number? There's no limit. There's no limit. Okay, there's no limit, guys. You can whatever the number of parameters you want to write, it's up to your patience levels. You can write that. Okay, there's no limit for the number of parameters, but you have to pass the same number of arguments. That's what is the requirement. Okay, fine. Now, method can return values back to the calling methods. Okay, methods can return the values back to the calling methods. If a method doesn't return anything back to the method calling statements, then which keyword we have to use in the declaration of the method which is not returning anything back to the method calling statement? Void keyword. You are good, right, Jesse? You are right. Yes, everyone is right. Okay, Praveen, Ram, Ramya, everyone is right. If a particular method doesn't return anything, void keyword will be there. Okay, void keyword will be there. Return nothing from a method, return int value. So now I'm going to show you the return type, how the return type will be there. Methods returning methods returning demo, returning methods returning demo. Some name I'm giving that, so don't worry about the spellings and all. That's okay. Here I'm going to call a method public static void add 3 numbers. Earlier I showed 2 numbers, right? This time I'm taking 3 numbers, guys. Okay, I can also give 2 numbers also, but just for the change I'm giving 3 numbers. Here I'll give int a comma int b comma int c. Like this I'll write. Here I'll write int sum is equal to a plus b plus c, and here I'll write down, I don't want to write print statement here. Instead I will write something known as return sum. What is the another keyword that came here for you? What is another keyword I'm using? I want to make this particular method return the sum of these three parameter arguments that you got from this main method. This particular method is now returning something back to the method calling statement. If I call this method here, and if I pass something like 1, 2, 3 as a number, so let's assume. So what will happen, guys? What will happen? 1, 2, 3 will be passed to this method, and 1 will go into A, 2 will go into B, and 3 will go into C. 1 plus 2 plus 3 will become how much? 1 plus 2 plus 3 will become how much, guys? Yes, 6 will be assigned to sum. And are you printing the sum here itself, or you are returning back to the method calling statement? Are you returning the sum to the method calling statement, yes or no? We are returning the value that is stored in the sum. But sum is of which data type? Sum is of which data type? In data type. That's the reason you are getting an error here. You see, when you say return sum means void methods cannot return a value. What is the keyword that we have declared before this particular method? What is the keyword I have declared? Void. Void means it will not return anything. But here we are returning some value here. One value we are passing which is of in data type. So in place of void we have to put what? Int. What is the type of the return type? What is the type of the data that you are returning back to the method calling statement? That type you have to provide here, whatever it may be. You are returning the data type of that particular variable or something should be returned, should be the return type. In place of void, we have to put that return type. Okay, this is called as return type. Void is also a return type, which will be provided when the method doesn't return anything. But here int is a return type when the particular method is returning int type of data. Okay. To where this particular sum will go. Who is calling this particular method? After the execution of this method, the control will go where, guys? The control will go where? To which line? In the main method, in which line? To the main method in which line? Yes, 7th line, method calling statement. So the method calling statement is going to get this value sum. How? Hover the mouse on this. What is the return type here? What is the return type of this method? Can you see the return type here? Int is a return type. If I go to the previous statements where no methods were returning anything, hover the mouse or say hello. What is the return type here? What is the return type of this method? Say hello. That means this method is not returning anything back. Hover the mouse on the welcome case. What is the return type of the welcome case? It's taking one argument into the parameter, but it's not returning anything. So I'm not getting anything back from the method calling statement. Okay. Here, this method is return type is also void. 5, 4 are going here, but nothing will come back. But in this case, this particular method is taking 3 sets of data, 3 count of data into the parameters, and the arguments will be passed to these parameters, respective parameters. Okay. And the resultant sum you are passing back to the method calling statement. But how to catch that? If I run the code, what will be printed in the output? If I run this code, what will be printed in the output? Empty. That's correct. Empty is the answer. It will not print anything, no output, guys. It will be an empty output because this method is calling 1 will go into A, 2 will go into B, 3 will go into C, 1 plus 2 plus 3 will become 6, 6 will go into sum, return sum, 6 is coming to the method calling statement. Are you doing anything with the 6 that is coming back? Are you doing anything with this 6 that is coming back to the method calling statement? Method calling statement is getting some return type in the form of int, that is 6 value is coming, but is 6 being printed anywhere in the program main method? No, right? So what I will do is, what is the data type of that 6? Int, right? So int s is equal to system.out.println s, I will say. Okay, system.out.println s. What will be printed now? Tell me, guys. So what happens here is the program execution will start from the main method. Here 1, 2, 3 will be passed. This method will be called. Control will come to the 12th line. 1 will go into A, 2 will go into B, and 3 will go into C. And here int sum is equal to A plus B plus C. That is 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6. 6 will be assigned to sum, and this particular method is returning that 6 back to the method calling statement. So 6 will come here. That 6 we are storing in the variable which is declared within data type. And that 6, that S variable we are printing, so it's holding 6, so 6 will be printed in the output. Clear, everyone? Clear, everyone?
Can you explain one more time, please?
Sure, definitely. So, who has asked the question?
Anisha?
Yeah, Anisha. Anisha, just try to answer my questions. You will be able to understand. Okay. So, execution will start from where, Anisha?
Main method?
Main method from 5th line. After that, we'll go inside the main method. Here, this 7th line is coming for execution. In the 7th line, you can see the method calling statement.
Yeah.
This method calling statement will be called. That is from 7th line, control will go to which line?
12th line.
12th line. When it goes to the 12th line, this number 1 will go into, store into what?
A, okay.
A. Number 2 will be stored into?
B.
B. Number 3 will be stored into?
C.
C. Now here we created one more variable, new variable sum. It doesn't have any initialization done, only declaration, right? It doesn't have any value. But when I am saying sum is equal to A plus B plus C, the calculation of A plus B plus C is how much? 1 plus 2 plus 3. A, B, C. A is showing 1, 2 is B is 2, C is 3. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 is how much? 6. 6 will be stored into what? Sum. Now am I printing sum here or returning the sum? I'm printing.
Okay, so controller will be in the this method, right? From 12th to 17, the controller is gonna be there.
Yes, from 12 to 17, control will go, and from 17th line, the control will come back to the method calling statement. Where is the method calling statement? Who called this particular method? From which line the method has been called? This add 3 numbers method is being called from which line actually?
Line 7.
Line 7. So the result of this sum will be given to which method? This line 7. Now this particular method calling statement is holding a value known as 6. But if you don't utilize that value, nothing will happen. That value that this particular method is getting, method calling statement is getting after the execution of the code, right? That we can store into a variable and print it. Got it?
Yeah.
Anywhere you are facing any problem still, like, this method is returning some value back to the method calling statement. If you don't store that particular thing in the variable and don't print it out, will it get printed in the output? This method calling statement is getting a value back from the this particular method. You see, this add three numbers. 1 is going to A, 2 is going to B, 3 is going to C. Now A plus B plus C is 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6. 6 is assigned to sum, and return sum means return 6. Where 6 is getting coming back to the 7th line. This line is getting 6. But the 6 is, we are utilizing the 6 value, which is returned.
No.
It's something like you went to the birthday party, and in the birthday party, your family went there, and they gave you the return gift. You brought the return gift to home, but you didn't use it. What will happen? Nothing will happen, right? Same thing. So here return gift is coming to this method calling statement, but that method calling statement is not utilizing the return gift. Okay. Now, if you want to open that return gift and utilize that, what do you have to do? You have to create a variable with any name. That's okay. Just it should be the type of the data that is being written, and you have to store into the variable. This 6 is coming to this method calling statement, right? The 6 we are storing into the variable and then printing it out. Got it now? Clear? Or any confusion still?
So what happens if we don't add line 8?
If we don't add line 8, the 6 will be stored into S, but it will not be printed.
Okay.
You run this code, nothing will happen, right? No output has come. Why? Because 1, 2, 3 went here. 1 plus 2 plus 3 is sum. The 6 result is returned back to the method calling statement. That 6 is stored into the S, but we are not doing anything with S. Are we printing the S? No. If you print the variable S, the value that is returned back to this method, which is stored into this S, will be printed.
Okay.
You have any other questions? You can ask, no problem.
No, I'm good now.
If you are getting confused in anywhere, you can let me know.
I just wanted to know how the controller is moving from one place to another place. Yeah.
Okay.
From here.
Simple. I'll tell you how the control will move. I'll tell you. First, 5th line is there, na?
Yeah.
From 5th line, it will go to the 7th line. In 7th line, this method calling statement is there. This method calling statement will call this particular method. Okay. The control will come to the 7th line to the 12th line. In 12th line, 1 will be coming to A, 2 will be coming to B, 3 will be coming to C. That you understood. After 12th line, we'll go into int sum. We declared the variable sum. Now 15th line, sum is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3. 1 plus 2 plus 3 is how much? 6. 6 will be assigned to sum. And in the 17th line, when you say return sum, right? From here onwards, okay, the value 6 will be returned back to the method calling statement. Control will come back to the 7th line. From 17th line, control will come back to the 7th line, and 7th line, it is also getting a return gift kind of stuff. A data is being returned by the method to the method calling statement. Okay. And that data you are storing into the variable and printing it out. From 7th line, after that 8th line will be printed, then 8th line, 10th line at the end of the program. Now clear?
Yeah.
The same control thing. Only thing is that this particular method is returning some data back to the method calling statement, and data is stored into the variable, and we are printing the variable value. That's it. Still, you have any confusion, Anisha?
No, I'm good now. Yeah. Thank you.
Great. Yes, Ramya, we can also do that. There's one more question popping up. Like, do you have to really store that data written by this, whatever the method, this particular method is returning the data to this method calling statement, right? That data, do you have to really store into the variable? Is it really compulsory? Not required at all. Okay. If you don't want to do that, you can do something like this also. I'll just put a comments here so that not get confused. Here, these are the comments. So I'll call this method. While calling this method, I'll pass 1, 2, 3, let's assume. Now what I'll do here is, here, this particular method is getting some value 6 back to the method calling statement. So here simply I'll write down system.out.println. In this, I'll write this statement. Okay, what will happen in this case? What will happen in this case? Main method will get executed. The print statement will be printed. Before the print method prints anything, this add three numbers method will be called. The control will come to the add three numbers from 10th line to here. Here, 1 will be passed to A, 2 will be passed to B, and 3 will be passed to C. And here int sum is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3. That is 6 will be there. It will return 6 back to the method calling statement here. In place of this method, what is there? 6 is there. What we are printing, that 6 we are printing. Got it? The returned value 6 is getting printed. You don't have to compulsory. It's not compulsory to store into variable and print. Like this also we can print. Clear? Got it?
If we put inside that braces like sum instead of 1, 2, 3, what will be the output?
Where exactly? In which line you are
Over
saying?
here, when you are putting the printing statement over here,
Yes.
inside the braces 1 to instead of 1, 2, 3, if you put sum over there.
You cannot put that because this variable is a local variable. Its scope of this variable is up to the method only. It cannot go outside. Got it?
Okay, got it.
This is another method.
Got it.
In that method, another variable we created. The scope of this life of this variable is up to the starting of the method to the ending of the method only. You cannot use the sum outside the method.
Okay.
So that means we cannot call the local variable into the main method, right? That's what you are saying.
No, not at all. Not at all. You see, I'll prove you that. For example, in the main method, if I create a variable like this, let's say int k is equal to 5, I'll say. Okay, int k is equal to 5. Can I access this variable k here? Can I access a variable k here? No, error is coming. Why? Create local variable. Say k cannot be resolved to a variable. Why? Because the variable is a local variable. Local to this method. Whenever you create a variable inside a method, right? That method is called as a which variable? Local variable. Local variable scope is up to where? From the starting of the method to the end of the method. Till the end of the method, you can use it. But outside the method, you cannot use it. You see, here, no problem with k. But here, if you are trying to print k, it's not possible. Why? Because this variable is a local variable which can be accessed within the method only. Outside the method, you cannot access. Got it? And even these parameters are also local parameters only. Local variables only. These parameters also local parameters. You cannot access A, B, C here. Okay? In other method, you cannot access. If the parameters belong to one method, in that method only you can access A, B, C. Okay? The scope of this A, B, C is up to the end of this method, start and to end of the method. But here in another method, you cannot access. This sum cannot be accessed here. This S cannot be accessed here. Okay? Wherever in which method you are creating the variables, in that method only you have to access the variables. Got it? Clear? Clear about the local variables concept? That I'll cover anyhow. Don't worry. The next topic is that only. The next topic is that only. But the things have sometimes what happens in Java is to explain something, right? We have to give something that is not explained yet. Okay, there's no other way. Somehow the clumsiness will be there here and there, but you have to wait for a while. Okay, clear everyone? Now you may ask me something. What if I just comment this one? What if I comment this one and uncomment this one? Now, okay, let me uncomment this line only. Okay, now if I put sum here, you may tell me, you told me that you cannot use sum, whatever the sum that you created in this method, you cannot use in this method. But if I am writing sum here, is there any error coming? Is there any error coming? Here I'll put sum. That's okay. Is there any problem? Guys, is there any problem? The same sum I'm using. Do you think both are same sum?
No.
No, that's not correct. This sum is different. This sum is different. This sum is local to this method. This sum is local to this method. It looks like same name, but they are different variables. Okay, got it? Local variables. The scope of this sum is up to this method only. The scope of this sum is up to this method only. Okay. Clear, guys? So why to confuse you? So I just thought of putting yes here instead of sum so that you don't want to get confused. Okay. So anyhow, I'll cover about the local variables later, but understand this here. whatever the methods that you are variables that are created inside the methods, right? That variables are called as local variables. That variables are local variables. The scope of the variables is up to the methods only in which they are created. Everyone clear with that? Everyone clear with that? Just type C in the chat box if you are clear. Any other confusions you can ask me. Guys, if you are clear, just type C in the chat box. If you are
సార్
clear.
అక్కడ యాడ్ 3 నెంబర్స్ కాలింగ్ మెథడ్ ని మనం ప్రింట్అవుట్ లో ప్రింట్ లైన్ లో పెట్టాం కదా, అది కాల్ చేస్తుందా?
Yes, correct. So in the 10th line, you are asking me the question in 10th line, right? Right. So when I say system.out.println, inside the println thing, there is a method calling statement. This method calling statement will call this method. This method will this is a method calling statement which is provided inside the println statement. So this will call this particular method. Control will come from the 10th line to 15th line. 1 will come to A, 2 will come to B, 3 will come to C, and A plus B plus C, that sum 6 will come. The resultant sum will be given back to the method calling statement. 6 will be coming here, that 6 will be printed here. Got it? You don't have to really store into a variable and print it. Now clear? Is that clear for you? Anil?
క్లియర్ సార్. ఇంకోటి, ద రిజల్ట్ రిటర్న్ రిజల్ట్ ఉంది కదా, దాని రిజల్ట్ ని యాడ్ 3 నెంబర్స్ అదే కాలింగ్ మెథడ్ హోల్డ్ చేస్తుందా?
Return sum.
రిటర్న్ రిజల్ట్ ఉంది కదా, ఆ రిజల్ట్ ని యాడ్ 3 నెంబర్స్ హోల్డ్ చేస్తుందా?
Okay, the result will be returned back to the method calling statement. Yes, it will contain, but it is not stored anywhere. Okay, it will hold it basically. That's why you are able to print it, right?
ఓకే.
It's holding. Okay, but if it is holding, but if you are not printing, for example, if you are writing like this, or instead without print statement, if you are writing, okay, now you are saying return sum here. It is not like a variable. It's not like a variable. It has a return type. That return type can be printed. That you have to see. Okay, it's not like I cannot clearly say that it's holding the value, but whatever the value that is being returned, right, that can be stored into a variable or can be directly printed. Okay, you can either store into a variable or it can be printed. I cannot say it is holding it. The return type, if you want to utilize the return type, either you have to store the returned value into a variable or you can print it directly also. When you print a kind of method having a return type, that print statement will print the return type of that particular method calling statement. Got it? It is not about holding. It's about utilizing. Got it?
ఓకే.
Okay. It is not holding, but when you print out the method which has a return type, whatever the data that is written back to the method calling statement will be printed. That's it. Or otherwise, you can store that value that is returned to this method calling statement into a variable and print it. But this is not holding it. The return type can be stored into a variable or return type can be printed directly. That's what you can say. But you cannot say that. But we cannot say that it is holding it. Can we write a method without using any return type? Yes, we can write a method. We have written long time. All the methods were without return types, right? At least void should be there. You see, this particular method is not returning anything back. Pradeep, right? Yeah, here, for example, you're calling this say hello. Is this particular method returning anything? Is there any return keyword here? No, right? But void is there. Void means this method doesn't return anything. Okay, a particular method want to return something back, then we have to use the return keyword. Okay, then only we have to use the return keyword and return the data. Here in place of void, we have to put the return type. Void is also a return type only, but here return data type will be there in place of void, and the method calling statement will receive that data in the form of return type. That return type can be printed here. Okay, or can be stored into a variable and printed. Anything you want. Either you can directly print or you can store into a variable and utilize. You don't want to utilize is also fine. Okay, it's up to you. All the freedom is given to you. Whether you want to consider the return type or whether you don't want to consider the return type is up to you. Okay, if you store into a variable and print, that means you are utilizing the return type. If you are printing directly, you are utilizing the return type. But if you are directly calling the method and not utilizing the return type that is written back to the method calling statement, that also is fine. But nothing will happen there. Okay. You're not taking the advantage of the return type. Simple. Clear, everyone? Can we directly call other methods inside print statement from main method? Yes, we can call. Yes, we can call, but they should have the return type maybe. So let's try to call them. Public, static, void, sample. The method should have a return type, I think so. Otherwise, if you try to print, what is the use? Okay, so let's see system.out.println, system.out.println. I can call the method, but it doesn't have a return type, means error is coming. Why? Because this particular method has the void as the return type. If void is the return type, you cannot print anything. So Java is very clever that it's not allowing you to call the methods which doesn't have the return type. You can call the methods which have the return type, but you cannot call the methods which doesn't have return type. Got it? If a method is not returning anything, you cannot call them from the print statements. Actually, it's not about calling the methods from the print statements. It's about, printing the return type is the question, is the thing that you have to focus on. It's not about calling the methods from the print statements. It's about whether you are printing the return type or not. For that only we'll use the print statements, guys. Okay. So when a particular method has a return type, that can be provided inside the print statement, and the return type of the that particular method calling statement will be printed. Otherwise, you cannot call the method. Clear? Kalyani, is that clear for you? Can we directly call other methods inside print statements from main method? The answer depends on the return type. If the particular method is returning something back, then you can print the return type value of that particular method calling statement. Okay, then you can call the method. Otherwise, you cannot call, because there is no way of no use of printing it, right? Particular method doesn't have the print state return thing. Returning, it's not returning anything. If it's void, nothing cannot be printed, right? Nothing cannot be printed. So in the case of methods which have the return type as void, they cannot be put inside the print statements. Okay, they cannot be put or called from the print statements. Okay, that perspective you have to see. Clear, great. So any type of data you can return, guys. This here in this case you are returning int, so int is there. If you are returning some string text, string literal, you have to make the return type as string. If you want to return some decimal value, you have to put double here. If you want to return a character, you have to put char here. If you want to return some true or false, you have to put boolean here. Okay, it depends. The data type depends on the type of the data that you are returning. This return is the keyword you have to remember. There are two keywords that you understood in this session: void and return. If you go back to the yesterday session, day before yesterday session, guys, you go back to the day before yesterday session, I explained about something known as control flow statements. Remember the control flow statements I covered in the previous session? The previous session I covered control flow statements, right? I'll go here. In this control flow statements, if I go down, you see, there is a keyword I told you. I told you that I'll explain during methods. Is that keyword covered under transfer statements? Break, continue, keyword. Did I cover the return keyword now? Did I cover the return keyword now inside the methods? The return keyword is used. It's a transfer statement. Okay, it comes under the transfer statements, and it will be used as a return type of the method. Okay, for returning some data to the method calling statement, we have to use the return keyword followed by the type of the data that you want to return, and basically you have to change the return type also to that particular type of the data of the method. Okay, so here return keyword I covered here under the transfer statements. I told you I'll cover this during methods explanation. Today I covered about the methods. So in the methods, this return keyword is covered. Okay, as part of these methods, I covered the return Java keyword. Clear? So here, methods completed, variables completed, variables didn't completed, sorry. There are two types of variables, guys. Okay, at this level, it's very simple topic, guys. Okay, there are two types of variables. Already you know this concept, but I'm just covering it at a high level. Maybe we'll have the next session on Monday. Okay, this continuation session will be on Monday. Monday I'll cover the class and objects. But for today, the last topic is variables, guys. Very simple topic. Nothing is there. It will be just done in just 5 minutes. Okay, if you clearly observe. Just see here, guys. I'll create methods is completed, guys. Methods. The purpose of the methods is to write the programming logic. Okay, where you will write the programming logic. Where you, in Java, where you will write the programming logic, guys? Inside the programming logic inside methods. In Java, where you will store the data. Where you will store the data in Java?
Variables.
Variables. Logic inside the methods, data inside the variables. Both these variables and methods should be created inside
Class.
class. Now, when I say class, till now, did I create the variables inside the class or inside the method? If you observe here, I created some variables here and there, guys. Okay, I created some variables here, int sum, or here int sum I created. Where did I create this int variable? Inside the method or inside the
Inside method.
inside method? That's why it's called as a local variable. Okay, but we can also create a variable directly under the class also. That's what I'm going to cover now. Here I'm going to create the package name as variables pack. Okay, variables pack. So I'll not cover the package already exists. Huh? Okay, where did I cover that variables? Okay, variable types pack. Otherwise, variable types rename. If you want to rename the package, you have given wrong name to any of the class files or package files, etc. Right click on the package and say refactor and simply say rename and just types pack. Click on finish. That's it. Okay, I created the package, guys. Create a new class. I'll just create a new class and just say this as local global variables. Okay, there are other ways of explaining about the variables, guys. Okay, look, but here only two types I'm covering. But in the coming days, right, in the coming sessions, I'll explain the variables in more better way. Okay, more types. But I can reveal the different types for you. If I have to really categorize the variable types, right, I can categorize the variable types like this, guys. You see, variables in Java can be categorized at a high level into two types. First one is what? Local variables. Everyone type in the chat box. What is the first type of variables? Local variables. Everyone type in the chat box. Local variables. Okay. The other type of variables that we can create are called as global variables. Other type is what? Global variables. The other type of variables are global variables. Okay. So under the local variables, there are two types again. Under the local variables, there are two types. Local variables can be variables which are created inside the method. This sum is called as a local variable because it's a normal local variable. What about this int a and b, these parameters? These are also parameters, also local variables only. Okay, normal local variables. Here there are two types of local variables. One is normal local. Normal local variables are the variables which are directly created inside the methods in the form of parameters. Parameterized variables. Parameterized variables are also called as local variables only because the scope of these variables, parameterized variables, or normal local variables created inside the methods are up to that method only. That's why they are called as local variables. And coming to the global variables, again there are two types. There are two types of global variables. One is static variables. Other one is instance variables. You will not be able to understand what are instance and static variables now. For now, I'll be using the static variables as a global variables for a while. Okay, later I'll explain you the difference between static and instance because this is not the right time. So after I cover you this class object concepts and all, right, then you will understand what is static, what is instance. Till that you will not understand, but the overall picture of the variables is like this. The overall picture of the variables is like this. Variables can be categorized as local variables, global variables. Local variables can be further categorized as normal local variables and parameterized variables. Global variables are static variables and instance variables. Static variables and instance variables. Okay. The difference between static and instance, I'll cover later. But for now, only understand the difference between this level, local variables and global variables, you understand. In the upcoming sessions, I'll cover in detailed variations of the static and instance variables. Okay, fine. Now I'm simply going here and here this is a main method. Inside the main method, if I create a variable, let's say int m is equal to 5 system.out.println. system.out.println yum, if I say, will it be printed or not? The value of the yum will be printed, yes or no? Will the value of the yum can be printed, yes or no? Yes, it can be printed. You see the value of the yum, that is 5, will be printed in the output. The value of the yum, that is 5, will be printed in the output, guys, without any problem. Okay, it will be printed. Now, if I say int a is equal to 10, this is a global variable. Here I'll add static keyword for a while because this method is also static. I have to add static to the variable also. This is global variable. Okay, it's a global variable for now. Okay, the variable which is directly created under the class is called as global variable. The variable which is created inside the method is called as a local variable. This is called as a local variable. This is a local variable. What is a local variable? A variable that is created inside the method is called as a local variable. A variable that is directly created under the class and outside the methods is called as a global variable. Clear, everyone? What is the difference between local and global variable is clear for you? A variable that is created inside a method is called as a local variable. And the variable that is directly created under the class and outside the methods is called as a global variable. Can't say that. Yeah. Global currency, yes, dollar is a global currency and INR cannot compare like that, but maybe you can compare gold. Gold is a kind of thing, it is global thing. Okay, maybe gold and individual countries' currencies. Okay, there may be some countries, right? Rupee is also global for some countries. Okay, dollar is some global to some countries, not all the countries maybe. Okay, so there may be some countries which doesn't use dollar as a global currency. Okay, it depends. It depends. Okay, is dollar used in everywhere in the world? No. Okay, for India, dollar can be used and rupee, dollar can be converted to rupee. Most of the countries, dollar is a major one. But nowadays, gold is also playing a big role. Okay, in terms of the things. Okay, so anyhow, that comparison level, right? To some extent, it's correct. To some extent, it's not correct. That's okay. Because I am very good at economics kind of stuff. So I'm very particular about what is global and not global there. That's okay. Fine. Anyhow, just see here. A variable. What is a local variable? Tell me, guys. What is a local variable? Now give me the answer for what is a local variable. A variable which is created inside the method is called as a local variable. It's called as a local variable. What is a local variable? A variable that is created inside the method is called as a local variable. Then what is a global variable? A variable that is directly created under a class and outside the methods is called or known as global variable. Clear, everyone? Here A is a global variable because it's directly created under the class. A class can contain variables and methods. You can create any number of global variables. Here, static int b is equal to 20. Static int c is equal to 20. Okay, all these are global variables. Variables which are directly created under the class and outside the methods are called as global variables. This A, B, C are the global variables which are directly created under the class and outside the methods. So A, B, C are global variables, and this yum is a local variable. I can write like this: yum yan. Yan is like 6, 10 yum yan o or yum yan o p 7. Okay, so this yum yan p are the local variables. Local variable, and this is also local variable. This is also a local variable. Okay, now I'll create one more method: public static void sample method. Okay, here now tell me, guys, in this main method we have 3 local variables yum and p. Can I print these values of these variables inside this main method system.out.println yum p? Can I do like this? Is that okay? Yum and p, can I do this? Yes, it's okay. The values of yum and p will be printed in the 567 will be printed in the output. If I run this code, you see 567 will be printed in the output. Okay, 567 will be printed in the output. You can access this. Now, can I also print In this main method, can I print the global variables ABC, A, system.out.println, B, system.out.println, C. You see, I can access the global. You see, the representation of the local and global variables by Eclipse ID is like, blue color is coming for global variables, and some orange default local variables color is coming for the local. It's differentiating the colors, right? These are the global variables. Can you access the global variables inside the main method? Can you access the global variables? Yes, that is also possible. So 10, 20, 30, whatever the things, like 10, 20, here 30, right? I want to give 30 here. Okay. So run the code 10, 20, 30 will be printed in the output without any problem. 5, 6, 7, 10, 20, 30 got printed. Now coming to the other method, if I write system.out.println, system.out.println yum, if I write system.out.println n, if I write system.out.println system.out.println p, if I write system.out.println a, if I write system.out.println b, if I write, and system.out.println c, if I write, then tell me guys, what is the problem? What is the problem? You have to tell me. By looking at the program, you have to tell me what is the problem in the program.
Yes, there is a problem.
Yes. That means simple. The scope of the local variables is, what are local variables? First of all, the variables that are created inside the methods are called as the local variables. The scope of the local variables, that is the life of the local variables, is up to that particular method in which they are created. This m and p can be accessed from the beginning of the method to the end of the method. But outside the method, can you access m and p? Can you access the m and p outside the methods? No, you cannot access them. You see, error is coming here. I'm commenting them now to overcome the error here. Okay, but what about ABC? ABC can be accessed in this method. ABC can be accessed in the sample method. Is there any limit? No, right? The scope of the global variables, as I mentioned, is up to the class level, starting of the class to the ending of the class. But the scope of the local variables is inside the method only in which they are created. But the scope of the global variables is from the starting of the class to the ending of the class. Got it, guys? Clear, everyone now? Yes, scope of the local variable is limited to method, but the scope of the global variable is limited to the class for now. Okay, is up to the class level. Global variables throughout the class you can access. Local variables only within the method they are created can be accessed. That's what you have to understand. Okay, clear, everyone? What is the difference between local and global variables at a high level is clear for you? In the coming sessions, I'll demonstrate the variables at a very depth level, but for now, this much is more than enough. Even the variables, okay, which are in the form of parameters, also local variables only, they cannot be accessed outside the methods, guys. You can try that program, okay? Try to, assignment for you is very simple now. The assignment for you is very simple. I'll give the assignment here. What is assignment you have to do? Assignment is that create parameters for a method, method parameters, right? And try to access them outside the method and see what is happening. You cannot access basically, but write a program, okay? To get some clarity, right? Write a program, okay? So write a program to do that. This is the assignment, guys, okay? Create parameters for a method and try to access them outside the method. This is the assignment for you. Will it be possible, guys? First of all, will it be possible to access the parameters of a particular method outside the method? No, because the scope of the parameters is up to the method only. So it will not be possible. Similar to local variables, parameters of the methods can also be accessed within the method only. Try to access this parameter methods inside the method and try to access the parameter methods outside the methods also in another method and try to see what is happening. So if you are getting errors when you are accessing outside the methods, then you are understanding concepts well. Okay, fine. So this is all for today, guys. I don't want to drag it more. Okay, methods I covered, variables I covered. In the next session, that is most probably on Monday for sure. Okay, I'm going to cover in depth. These things should be covered at a go, guys. Okay, that's why I'm not starting today. Okay, this one has to be covered at a go. Starting from the classes objects, I have to cover about constructors. I have to cover about this keyword, overloading keyword, inheritance keyword, overriding keyword. Okay. So that has to be continuously explained. That has to be continuously explained, guys. Okay, at least till this keyword and static keyword I have to cover, guys. Okay, so there are some concepts which cannot be stopped in between. I have to cover at a stretch. Okay, next session is very, 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 very important. Okay, this today's session is about methods. It's also important, but the next coming topic is very important if you want to be good at object oriented concepts. Okay, this concept is very important. This classes and objects concept is very important. Next session is going to be a game changer. Okay, so make sure that you attend the next session without any miss. That's on Monday, guys. Next session is going to be a game changer. Okay, if you don't understand the next session, after the next session you will not understand any other sessions. Okay, and I'll be covering that in a single session. Get ready for that. Clear, everyone?
Next session is the 20th, right, on Monday?
Yes, 20th, correct. 20th.
Okay.
Yes, 20th Monday. It's very important session. So I ask people to watch the recording also after I cover the session. That much important it is. Okay, so if you are new to object oriented concept, that session makes a lot. The way I explain will be very easy. Don't think that it is a very difficult session. I am saying important but not difficult. Okay, if you understand in a step-by-step way, that a way I explain, right, then it will be very easy for you to understand. But it's not a difficult one. It is difficult because you don't try to understand it in a proper way. Okay, I'll try to explain that in a way like you can understand easier way. Okay, with simple basics I'll cover that session, so don't worry about that. It's not a difficult session, it's an important session, I mean to say. Okay, that will form the base for many other topics that are coming in the upcoming sessions. Okay, so if you understand the next session, right, no, you don't have any sessions on weekends, but batch one will have the sessions on weekends, but morning session may not be there tomorrow. Maybe evening session, I'll tell you. I'll let you know tomorrow. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, compulsory sessions may be there, will be there. But tomorrow, I am not, I'm kind of skeptical because the plan was for me to not be available today. That has been postponed to tomorrow. So I have to take a session today. But maybe tomorrow, most probably in the evening hours, 5:30 p.m. IST. Morning session will not be there. Evening hours, I may take a session tomorrow. Day after tomorrow, morning and evening may be there. Okay, I'll decide
And
that.
when you add the video, can you put the like batch 2 for Selenium? Then it's gonna be easier to find.
That is also already there in the folders, right? Batch 2 folder only is there, na? In the
Okay,
Google
I
Drive.
don't know. Coming.
Did you find in the Google
Okay.
Drive?
Where can I find this link? I mean, in batch 1, right? In batch 1 chat.
No, not in batch 1. So what you have to do is, for example, this group you are already part of, right?
Yes.
Batch discussion group you are already part of, right? In this batch 1 discussion group, if you go to the description, you will get you know this Google Drive link, right? You know this Google Drive link?
Yeah.
Yeah, you copy the Google Drive link from here, and with whatever the email you have registered with for the course, right? In any of the browser, I recommend Opera browser for everyone. Okay, whoever is trying to access my videos, because there will not be any technical problem going ahead. When I access that Google Drive link, right, this kind of batch 1 7 a.m. IST kind of folder will come. In that, one more folder is there for the batch 2. Can you see that? Batch 2 have to
Okay.
access 1 and batch 2. If you want to specially access the batch 2 videos, right, go inside the batch 2 folder. Okay, once you go inside the batch 2 folder, you will see all the stuff that I covered in the Selenium Java folder. If you go inside the Selenium Java folder, you will find all the videos that I covered so far. So this is the last.
Is this possible? Can you send that this link again in the chat, in the batch 1 chat? Because I need to access this link from my iPhone, my phone to my laptop. So
you want this link?
I can email. Yeah, I can email from my phone to. Yeah.
I'll give you. Don't worry. I still have to work on something that someone has asked where I have to create a Google sheet, but I'm not getting time. Okay, so copy this link. 1 minute. Right. 1 minute. So in copy done. So I'll share in the WhatsApp group. Okay, batch to Google Drive. Okay. Only if you want to specifically open the batch 2 videos only, then this is the thing. Okay, this is a folder. Inside the folder, you'll have all the recordings.
Okay.
Fine.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome.
Sir,
Okay, then.
next session for batch 2 will be on Monday or tomorrow, sir?
Monday. Saturday, Sunday, you
Okay.
also can attend, but that will be basically on Selenium. We are into frameworks now. If anyone is, ready to join in between and, can understand the frameworks, if that is the purpose, you can join. Otherwise, you can ignore weekend sessions.
And
Okay.
do you have the same link ID and password for the weekend class, or do we have another one?
Same thing. Same
Okay.
thing. Okay, same link, same things. No need to worry. Okay, anyone, because the reason behind that is anyone can attend any of the batches. Okay, batch 1 people can attend, batch 2 can attend, batch 3 also, batch 1 also, like that. There's no rules and regulations there. So because the reason behind that is there may be some people who already are aware of Selenium and Java and that directly want to jump into framework. Okay, so for that kind of people, right, they can attend tomorrow's session in the evening.
So tomorrow's session is the new session or the is ongoing framework?
Ongoing one. It's in advanced part. If you are new to Java, don't join. You see, if whatever that you are experiencing today, right, that you don't know, right, then you don't join. Today is the first time you have heard about local variables, global variables, all this kind of methods, callings, and all, right. So then that means you should not join the tomorrow's session. It will confuse you a lot. Okay, I'll repeat that for batch 2 anyhow. Why I'm taking weekend sessions for batch 1 is like, I wanted to finish up the portion for them. So some additional stuffs are there. They're asking me to cover, so I'm taking on the weekends. Okay, that's the thing. Main topics are on weekdays only, but additional topics for batch 1 is going on weekends. So batch 2 people don't have to attend the sessions on weekends. Next session is directly on Monday for you. If you're interested, if you're already aware of Selenium and Java, and you can understand the framework concepts, using that concept means you can attend, no problem. I'm going to cover TestNG. Okay, TestNG is a unit testing framework I'm going to cover tomorrow. Fine, guys.
Hi, sir.
That
This
is
is Praveen. I
Yes,
have few
yes.
questions to ask. So,
Yeah,
so
Praveen.
recently I attended few interviews, and that like most of them they were asking something related to Java instead of like Selenium and all.
Yes,
So
yes.
can you just give me some list of questions like where we can like for coding part, because they are asking about simple coding part like to eliminate
Fine.
character
Okay.
symbols like that and all.
1 minute. So you can go to my YouTube channel. If you are preparing for you can, for now, you can go for the YouTube channel. Maybe in the coming days, I'll take this interview questions as part of the sessions also if required. But for now, you have to go to the YouTube channel. And here you have a playlist. I'll just show you the playlist. There are 2 playlists actually. 2 playlists I'll show you. Yeah, Java programs for interviews. This is one playlist. There are 150 Java programs. Can you see that?
Yeah, yes, sir.
I'll post in the WhatsApp group. Since you asked it, right? You can check immediately in the WhatsApp group. You'll get it. Okay. And the other one is separately related to Java programs. I'll show you where exactly they are. 4 Java interview questions. There are 463, and still I'm working on them.
Okay.
So this one you cannot complete it a go, but while attending the interviews, parallelly you can watch the videos and recordings, and then even I have the questions on Selenium Java also. Okay, if you are attending the interviews, I recommend this Selenium Java related interview questions also. Where are they? Let me show you. 1500, but there are 781 only for now. You see, when you combine that Java and the Selenium, right, it will become 1500. Okay, that was the original reason, but I wanted to separate, so I separated it. Okay, some Selenium interview questions, and those are the interview kind of preparation you can do. Okay, 4 Java interview questions, 150 Java programs that you are talking, right? They're asking interviews about the programs, right? The programs you can practice here. And the other one is like Selenium interview questions also is there. Selenium related interview questions also they'll ask. It's not like every interview they'll ask only Java. They'll ask about Selenium, they'll ask about Java, depends. Okay.
Yeah, okay, sir.
So those are the things. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, the test NG session is the new session or the continued one?
It's new session only.
Okay, okay.
So if you're already aware of
And
Selenium Java, if you want to directly go with frameworks, you can attend. So what happened was actually I started the test NG, but the recording got corrupted in my machine. So
Yeah,
I'm
I
taking
have seen.
recording got corrupted because somehow the software disturbance happened. It seems okay. Everything was fine from my side, but the Zoom software has been updated because of which the recording has got corrupted. I tried in the level base, but it's not recovered. So tomorrow I'll start from the scratch only again, second time.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Okay, if you want to attend, you can attend Destiny session. Mostly it will be there at 5:30 p.m. tomorrow. 5:30 p.m. IST evening.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
WhatsApp, you can just check the WhatsApp group for the updates. Okay. No subscription fee. It's free. Manju, it's free. There's
sir,
no.
one more question. One more question. Actually, in
Yeah.
Napkuri, like if you're trying to apply, like for few companies and all, they were asking for go with the premium. So, is there a better option to take a premium, Napkuri premium? Like, what is your suggestion, sir?
What premium?
Like in Napkuri premiums and all, they were
No,
asking.
not required. Not required at all.
Not required. Okay.
That's useless. Skill set is important.
Okay.
Naukri premium, I don't think you have to use it really. Okay, they are I don't think that is really required. Okay.
Okay. Okay, sir.
It's about skill set, right? Mostly it's about skill set. Maybe Naukri premium, they'll try to, showcase your resume more to the things, but I've never seen someone taking Naukri premium.
Okay.
But I don't recommend that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Any other questions?
So one thing,
Yes, Ram.
so you mentioned about naming conventions, like while declaring for like variables, it should be a lower camel case, right?
Variables and methods, lower camel case.
Lower. So like sometimes I came across like they'll be using underscores.
That's
like
snake case. That is called as snake case, mostly used in Python.
So sometimes
In
like I
Java
came
programs
across,
also, they may use underscore for some kind of
yes, sir,
constants. Some constants, I think so.
some I've seen like they're using by using Java only they use underscore. So like
Yeah.
what is what is the reason of using underscore? Like I
For
just
constants, they will use, I think for constants, just to see the segregation of the words, right? Okay, when you are using
right.
constants, right, everything will be in uppercase. Constants, the constant concept has not come yet.
Okay.
When I explain you about the final keyword, right, final access non-access modifier, right, you will understand what the constant means. A variable whose value cannot be updated, only can be initialized but cannot be updated. That is a constant. Okay, such kind of variables they generally write like this. Okay, so savings account type one. Let's say account underscore type underscore one. Like this, they will write. Everything will be in uppercase and they will be separated by underscore. Okay, if you write together, right, you'll not understand, right? That's why they will put underscore. This is called a snake case. Okay, this is called a snake case, and generally this kind of snake case is used in Java for constants purpose. Snake case in Java is used for which purpose? Let's go to one of the article and see. This is called a snake case. Underscore means mostly in Python or some language I remember because I have shifted from different languages, right? I know that a snake case is being used there like anything in other programming languages. But coming to the Java, right, mostly we'll prefer upper camel case or lower camel case or complete lower case. And you see, yeah, snake case.
Java doc has also good explanation for that one.
Which one? Okay, maybe 1 minute. ChatGPT, yeah, go with ChatGPT. That will simplify the stuff actually. Try to Google search. Where do we use snake case instead of lower camel case for variables in Java? Okay. If you write like this,
I'll do the R&D, sir. Like we are getting late. So
no
it's
problem.
fine.
I told you, right? Already it's coming. Constants. Constants is one place where you use that. You see max underscore value, whose value cannot be changed. Default underscore name. Okay. Like this. Final keyword will be there and whose value cannot be changed. Okay. For constants in Java, we use. That's what I told you, right? In Java also we use that, but not everywhere. But only for constants we use that. Okay. Maybe there may be other scenarios also, but mostly in constants we use it. Okay. If someone asks you in the interviews where you will use variables, can you create? Can you name the variables with the snake case? If they say in terms of constants, you can see. You see, if you put a final keyword before a variable, right, the value of the variable cannot be updated. In the next line, if you try to say max value is equal to 100, it will not happen. It will give you an error because it's specified with final. And such kind of final variables, generally, the naming convention of the final variables will be in uppercase. And since there are multiple names here, multiple words are there, and if you mix them, right, you will not understand anything. In upper camel case or lower camel case, you can understand the difference between the words because every first letter of the second word or third word is in capital letters, so you can identify the difference between the words. But if they are completely in uppercase, right, there should be some separation, right? That underscore should be the separation. Got it?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
I invented the snake case. Okay. In kind of cases where you don't understand the words, right? You generally go with the snake case. Sometimes you can create the packages in snake case. Okay. In case of instead of lower case, it's up to you. Okay. We can explore that later. Anyhow, fine. When the time comes, we'll explore. Okay. About the snake case.
Hello,
Manju,
Arun.
completely free. YouTube channel is completely free. There is nothing you have to pay.
Yeah, I'm not sure my question will be related to you or not, but my question is, let's say, like I complete the course and then, as you mentioned earlier that, we will be gaining kind of 5 to 6 year experience after completing, like without
Yes,
distracting
definitely,
any.
definitely. Yes, correct. Correct.
So let's say, like if I'm applying for the job and then what do you guys do the job reference once I submit the resume?
Once you submit the resume,
Yeah, let's say, if I apply for any job and then if they
Hmm.
ask for the job reference, do you guys provide
Okay.
those job reference?
Job reference in India, there are some possibilities. Okay. Outside
Okay.
India, we are not that much at this moment, but we'll try.
Okay. Because definitely here in US, they will ask for the job reference.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. We'll try to figure out, like, there may be some people in our group, right? Communities, our community is always good. Okay. Helping each other. So when the time comes, right, you can put a message out there. Anyone can give reference in US, may get some out, or, people may refer you there.
Okay. Got
Okay.
it.
For now, our plan is to complete 50 days. First 50 days will be very serious. Once that is done, right, we'll go to the experience level of next level. Okay.
Got it.
As part of the trainings. Okay then.
Thank
Okay,
you, Arun.
guys. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Yeah. Welcome. Welcome, guys. So that's all for today. It's getting late. I have to travel somewhere in the morning. So I don't want to take any more time. I think we are done for today. So any questions, anything left out, right, you can ask me on Monday. Okay. Bye, everyone. See you.